Vela Bay in 10 minutes.
Sea view,
MRT,
first launch,
Vela Bay has it all.
Vela Bay is the new launch at Bayshore that everyone has been anticipating.
Hey, but Mary, where exactly is Vela Bay located at?
Vela Bay is located at Bayshore Road, and bonus, is right beside Bayshore MRT.
It is mainly surrounded by other private residential developments and large plots of landed houses without commercial or industrial buildings in the vicinity. Best of all, it's located right across the iconic East Coast Park. So, is it good to stay in this location?
Yes, of course. There's a side gate to the MRT. You can't be any nearer to the station.
Any nearer, you have to stay in the station.
Being near to the train station is always highly sought after. It provides great convenience to own-stay buyers themselves. It's also easy for owners to travel for work or for kids to go to school. And for investors, it adds value to the property. Tenants will always prioritize choosing a development to rent that is near the train station. With this unique selling point, it benefits both own-stay buyers and investors who wish to cash out this property. This article from Straits Times has also shown how HDB prices drop relatively based on the distance of the flat to the nearest train station.
Yes, in terms of location, I'll definitely give it a 5-star. Not only it's convenient for people who take a public transport, for people who drives, it is equally convenient as well. So from Vela Bay to the highway, it takes about 5 minutes to the airport, about 18 minutes drive to CBD and 25 minutes to Orchard.
Are there any schools nearby?
Of course, there are schools nearby. So within a 1 kilometer distance, we have a famous primary school called Temasek Primary School. And within a 1 to 2 kilometer distance, we do have other schools such as Bedok Green Primary School.
And what are the amenities nearby?
That day I was looking at the map, I don't really see there's anything in that area. So I'm kind of hoping that in the future when the BTO is up, at least there'll be something in the area.
Exactly. The two malls that is nearest to Bayshore would be Bedok Mall and as well as Parkway Parade. They are about 8 to 10 minutes drive away and 20 minutes for public transport. Other than being a bit far from the shopping malls, people who love East Coast Park will love this location. So, what can we do in East Coast Park? We can do kayaking, wakeboarding, skateboarding, barbecue, and picnic, and many more.
So today, if I were to stay at Vela Bay, I will definitely cycle all the way to East Coast Park, to the Lagoon Food Centre to eat all the yummy food. Yes, indeed, it's super convenient, but there's also downside to such convenience because you are located right beside the ECP. That also means that you have a constant traffic noise throughout day and night.
Next, demand and supply. Why is it important for us to know the future demand and supply?
Of course, it is important. If you want to buy new development, you must make sure that the future demand is higher than the supply. That will make sure that the price will move to your advantage. So in terms of supply, the nearest resale will be Costa del Sol, the Bayshore and Bayshore Park. But I'll say that they are really old development with Costa del Sol land tenure starting from 1997, the Bayshore from 1993, and Bayshore Park from the year 1982. So that makes them all more than 30 years old. In the recent years, we do not have many launches in the area, and the newest resale at East Coast is Seaside Residences that TOP in year 2021. The land lease starts from year 2016. I would say there are plenty of old resale in the area, but if you are looking for a safer exit within a 10 years time frame, the choices are limited. I believe because of that, the most recent transaction in Seaside Residences crossed 2007 PSF. Super crazy. The next question is, there's a 9 years gap between the newest resale in the area and Vela Bay. So I think the question you might want to ask yourself is, would you rather pay for an old resale close to 2007 PSF or a newer one at 2009 or even 3000 PSF?
How about the demand? Would there be buyers for Vela Bay in future? I would say there will be 3 groups of buyers. Firstly, buyers who want to stay near the MRT. Secondly, lifestyle-driven buyers who want to spend their free time exercising and chilling right across at East Coast Park. Lastly, residents living nearby who are already used to living in this area. Looking at this area, we are surrounded by landed houses and only a few BTOs. People who are currently living in the landed might consider resizing to a single-level apartment as they age, or their children who are starting their families may choose to live nearby to stay close to their parents. And for the pool of upgrading buyers from HDB, there are only 2 current newer HDB, Bedok South Horizon, Bedok South Blossom. and only 2 new plots of prime BTO, Bayshore Plums and Bayshore Vista, whom has a lot of restriction. They are tied to 10 years MOP and etc.
If today I'm buying Vela Bay for own stay, there are a few things that I like and I dislike. Firstly is I would like the convenience to the MRT and also to the highway. Second is I do love that they cater quite a number of bicycle lots, so it will be very ideal for people who love to cycle at the East Coast Park. And I do love the sea view, but the only problem is I need to make sure that my space is well ventilated because of the high humidity and potential mold issues. And now one of the things that I don't like is there are no amenities in the close proximity. So I do hope that in the future when the BTO is up, there will be a few amenities in the area. And also, I personally do not like the color of the bathroom.
You can change it.
That's additional cost.
And from an investor's point of view, I would want to know how rentable is this place, or would there be capital gain in future? Rent-wise, I do not foresee any issue, and instead it would stand at a good position thanks to the MRT right below. Furthermore, the Seaview unit would be able to fetch a higher rental. However, for investors looking for capital gain, there's a lack of HDB upgraders in this area. This project is also not a cheap undervalued deal, and I would say this is not for short-term flipping play. Investors might need to hold them a bit longer to see the capital gain.
Floor plan analysis. So Vela Bay offers from 1 plus study unit all the way up to 5 bedroom units. Are all the units safe to buy, or is there any units that we should avoid? Let us analyze. Let's start from the smallest unit, 484 square feet 1 plus study. Now, the first thing whenever I receive a site plan or a floor plan, the first thing I'll check is whether this unit gets any west sun. So I would say this unit is pretty lucky. It's a southeast facing, so you do not get any west sun. And furthermore, the unit stack 5, the wall that is protruding out is helping this unit to block out the west sun. This unit is also going to get an unblocked sea view, which nowadays we seldom see. Usually developers are giving all these sea views, these premium views to the bigger units, the 4 or 5 beders. So I would say this is pretty rare. Looking into the internal layout, it's pretty standard and decent size. And the good thing is they still have a study corner, which we could build up some cabinets to increase our storage area as well.
For 2 bedrooms, we have a total of 7 different layouts, including both 2-bedroom compact and premium. Firstly, stack 11. The foyer is the widest and the space opens up immediately the moment you open the door with sea view. In terms of vastness of space, amongst the 2-bedroom compact layout, this should be the best and it's my top for 2-bedroom compact. You'll get both sea view and pool view for this unit. Next, stack 17, which has a narrower foyer. The moment you open the unit, you can see the dining area, so it reduces some visibility of the whole space. And using the concrete wall as a measurement for comparison, we can see that this unit has the shortest living room among all the 2-bedroom compact. This layout comes with a bit of afternoon sun. Next, stack 6. You get to see the unit all the way to the balcony and the sea view, which is pretty nice. The downside to this unit is that it can be noisier because it is closer to the highway. Next, let's review the 2-bedroom premium units. Firstly, stack 8. This is the layout of the biggest kitchen space. Kitchenette is pretty ideal for people who doesn't really cook, and it has a nice regular dumbbell layout. Both walls at the bedroom are hackable, so if you prefer to expand your living space, you have the option to retain either the master bedroom or the common room. Next, you also notice there is a concrete wall extending out from the AC ledge. There is where your neighbor balcony will be. I thought that is quite thoughtful, so you won't get to see your neighbor and vice versa. And with that, it could mean that the afternoon sun is potentially blocked by your neighbor during certain time of the year. And in terms of view, you will definitely get the sunset view as well as the sea view. Again, the downside to such amazing views is that you have the noise from the highway. Next, stack 16. This stack is somewhat similar to stack 8, except that the kitchen space is slightly smaller. The distance between the main door to the balcony is, however, the longest. So it depends on whether you prefer to have a wider space or a longer space. Personally, I'll prefer a wider space. The downside to this layout is that it gets partial west sun. Next, stack 14.
So this is where you see more obvious change, and that is in the kitchen. I personally prefer a tucked-in and closable kitchen so I can potentially reduce cooking smell diffusing into my room. Even though the walkway is narrower, you are still able to put a shoe cabinet. The living room is the shortest here. Take note that the master bedroom wall is a concrete wall and is not hackable unlike the other layouts. And the balcony certainly will get more direct afternoon sun. Next, stack 7. This is the layout of the smallest foyer. I love the enclosable kitchen, same as the previous stack, stack 14. Even though the foyer can seem a little bit too narrow, the dining in the living area are definitely decent. I like that there's a corner specifically for dining and the living room is wide enough compared to stack 14. You will definitely get to enjoy the sunset view as well as the sea view. And again, the downside to such amazing views is always the noise from the highway. A quick overview of all the 2-bedroom premium layout. My personal favorite will be stack 7 because of the enclosable kitchen and the bigger living area. What's yours? DM me to let me know.
Moving on to the 3-bedder units, there are 6 stacks of them, split into mainly 2 different types, the standard and the premium. The standard comes with 3 bed, 2 bath, while the premium comes with 1 more extra bath and a storage area. Now let's compare the 3 standard units. I would say generally the 3 units do not have any west sun, except for type B. Certain months of the year they might get a little bit of the sun. And among these 3, only type C is actually getting the sea view. As for the internal layout, type A and type B are actually pretty similar. All the bedrooms are flush at one side and their kitchens are also tucked at a corner. While type C is more interesting as a dumbbell 3-bedder with an open concept kitchen. So among these 3, my top pick would be type C, given the premium sea view, no west sun, dumbbell layout, which means less wasted corridor space. And I do not see the open concept kitchen as an issue because if you prefer an enclosed kitchen, I'm pretty sure the IDs would be able to do some magic. As for the 3-bedroom premium units, they are almost 99% identical, difference mainly at the foyer's length and width. So now the main comparison lies on the direction and the facings. The top pick definitely has to go to type B because there's no west sun and there's beautiful sea view. So what's the unit that I will avoid for 3-bedders? For the standard 3-bedder, I will be avoiding type B low floor units. This is because the units are getting some west sun and it's also closer to the facilities like the tennis court, children playground, function rooms, which means you will be expecting some noise and even more noise over the weekend or festive seasons. And the unit that I will avoid for 3-bedder premium is type A. Not only this unit gets the west sun, they are quite close to the next block and they don't really enjoy the sea view.
Next, let's review the 4-bedroom. Stack 9 has a nice regular layout. All the rooms can fit a queen size bed. Both master bathroom and WC have window for ventilation. The downside is that the common bathroom comes with an air vent, which is something most owners will dislike. This unit facing will get you a nice sunset view and sea view. Maybe some glimpse of sunrise view in the morning too. Similar to Stack 9, Stack 15 has also a nice regular layout. Now, putting them side by side, I'll say the main difference is at the foyer, apart from the unit facing. In this case, my personal preference will be Stack 15 because I'll prefer to install a cabinet as well as a mirror on the wall. Next, Stack 10. The largest 4-bedroom with a private lift and all the bathrooms and WC have window, which is very ideal. This unit faces both pool view, sea view, and you definitely can catch a sunrise in the morning.
Now, the one and only 5-bedroom, which is on stack 5, the stack closest to the sea. This premium 1582 square feet home enjoys a full unobstructed sea view with no immediate neighbors directly in front, offering both privacy and exclusivity. The unit comes with a private lift, a spacious living and dining area perfect for hosting. And if this space is not enough for you, the wall between the living hall and the bedroom tree is hackable, so you have an option to expand it. Another thing I really like about this layout is, among the 5-bedroom, 3 of them are actually well-designed en-suites. Furthermore, the wall between the master bedroom and bedroom 4 is hackable as well, offering homeowners the flexibility to expand their master bedroom to a really huge and luxurious one. That said, there's one thing I'm not entirely convinced. It's the private lift lobby door opening directly into bedroom 3. Fortunately, the lobby wall appears hackable as well, so there's an option to reposition the entrance to the left side for more privacy. Finally, though this unit gets to be nearest to the sea, it is also nearest to East Coast Highway. Although it's commonly said that noise travels upwards, but from my experience handling similar units, the higher floors are surprisingly quieter, while the low to mid floor tends to experience more noticeable noise levels.
Vela Bay, final verdict. It is a good buy if you are buying for your own stay and for a lifestyle. You can hold it for the long term and you can enter at a reasonable price. But it is not so ideal if you are looking for quick profit and if you are price sensitive and you prefer mature estates with full amenities. So if you are looking for Vela Bay and the floor plans, do reach out to us at our number.
If developer launch at 3,002, will you still buy?
3,002